Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. It is Friday afternoon. Sorry, this is a little bit late. I thought I recorded the Friday afternoon session. I've only just come back from holiday and I wasn't aware there wasn't one done. So I've gone through my notes and this is perfect for me to tell you guys today. There'll be some more, by the way, about the SSA reports next week. I just don't have any recorded yet. And I tend to like spend a little bit more time on them ones because there's some golden nuggets that I want to get across. So they'll be done next week, some more of those. We've also got the monthly figures next week as well. So it's a busy, busy week. Something recently not happened to me, but I was listening to something and it's all about talent stacking. And I believe that if you open the self-storage against me in Hull, wherever it may be, I don't think very, very few people could compete. I don't think that very few people could beat me. And the reason is because of the talent that we stacked. We've talent stacked, which is fantastic. I've got some notes here. You as a business owner, you have to be on the lookout for talent because you live and die by the talent that you have. So we first got Angela. We pinched hair from Armadillo. And so we talent stacked. So we had me and then we had Angela. And then obviously as you grow, we wanted talent stack again. We came across somebody called James, JP. So again, we talent stacked. We had 3 A-class players. And then then Vanessa came along and I've been chasing Vanessa to work for me for 7 or 8 years. And finally she said yes. So again, we talent stacked again. And so you've got to stop talent on top of talent. And the best time to get talent is when you don't need the talent. There's no point going out to the market when you're desperate for somebody because you will take anybody. The best time to employ people is when you don't need them. If you're expanding, you will eventually need them. So what you need to do is you need to talent stack one on top of each other and do it proactively before you need them. That is when you get the best of the people out there. I've been on the lookout now for talent for a long, long period of time. And as soon as I find somebody, then I'll be approaching them, whether it be in a coffee shop, whether it be in another self-storage, whether it be in a Vodafone shop, and I'll get to that in a second. But you have to be aware that you need to talent stack on top of each other. Also, the great thing is that employing somebody before you need them, it means that you can train them better because you're not stretched as a company. You're not throwing them into the deep end. You can train them, your systems, your processes, your sales processes, how we look after customers, why we're different, our culture, what's important to us as a company. You can train all that and you have the time to train all that before you need them as time allowed, before time is taken up. We don't. So if I hire somebody now, we don't actually need somebody now. So therefore, I can allot time, or the staff can allot time to train them up. And when we do need them, they'll be absolutely perfect. They'll already be running. And so for me, you've got to make sure that you're on the lookout for high-class talent. And another thing, you've got to build a magnet for talent, a magnet, and it can't be a jail for your employees. I know that certain members of my staff, they want ultimately different things long term. And so my job as a business owner, as not their boss, I am ultimately the boss, but I don't like calling myself that. I feel as though you've got to have their best interests at heart. And that's why you've got to be a magnet, because you've got to genuinely care about the people working with you. And if the best for them is to go and start something else or work somewhere else or go into a different industry, then you've got to support that. You can't stand in their way. So you've got to be acting like a magnet for people. You've got to develop them. You've got to stack the skills. And then if they want to fly the nest, then you've got to allow them. You've got to be given that bandwidth. You've got to give them that gift of being able to move on and find someone else, because ultimately we're all about creating work-life balance and creating happiness for that individual. And if it's better to serve them somewhere else, then you've got to let them go. You can't act like a jail. So many companies act like a jail. That is not part of our culture. That is not part of what creates a great company. You want to attract, don't get me wrong, you want to keep them. I don't want to lose any of my staff, but ultimately I want what's best for them. And if they want to do something else, and if they need to do something else, me just making them in a jail and keeping them here, it's not going to serve them, and ultimately it's not going to serve you as well. And now the reason I wanted to talk to you guys about this today was because I went to a Vodafone shop, and for those of you who's upgraded your phone recently, oh, what a ball ache. What an absolute ball ache. And by the way, I failed my credit score. Yes, I failed my credit score. My credit score is 999. It can't get any better. I spent years and years and years getting that credit score. So I couldn't do it online for whatever reason. It flagged up. I think it's because in my own name, I've got like 7 phones or something, because I've got so many different phones for the company and stuff. And so it went over the threshold where they've got to have approval. So I had to go into the shop. I hated that. I hated the fact it was going to be hard. I talked to this one guy called Danny. Absolutely phenomenal, amazing, brilliant. And so I did a bit of a deep dive because I'm a bit of a geek. I went onto Google, I had a look at the reviews. The reviews are outstanding since they opened up. He's been there 9 years. And I'm thinking, right, okay, how can I get Danny to work for me? And so I went in again because to pick up my phone, and Danny wasn't there. The manager was there. And the culture comes from the top. Remember, the culture comes from the top. The manager was stupendous. She was awesome. And now I want to take both of them. I want to find a way of extracting both those two and bringing them into my company, because them two are phenomenal. What their main aim is to keep customers happy. She said to me when I was talking to her, because I said, I've done speeches around the world. Ooh, look at me, try to make myself feel good, about how important it is to look after your customers. And I said, what do you do differently? How come you've got this culture in here in a Vodafone shop where nobody's got a vested interest to do well? And she said something very, very simple. It's a localized business. We're not going to get outsiders coming into our shop. We're only going to get predominantly local people. So what we need to do is we need to treat them like they're friends and family. Every single person who comes in that door is friends and family, because we're going to get repeat business. But not only that, we're going to get their friends and their family to come in, because they're going to tell them about how good the experience was and is. Look at me. I'm on this podcast saying about how good that Vodafone experience was. I will guarantee, I can't guarantee, I would suspect that there isn't another Vodafone shop, a phone shop in the area that has a welcoming appeal, the camaraderie. It's a well-oiled machine that comes from the top, from a manager, and it comes right down to the assistant manager, who's now Danny. And I've got to find a way of getting them to win. But how do I go across without feeling too sleazy? But also I've got to strike while the iron's hot as well, because they know me, they'll remember me. In 2 months, they won't know me or recognize me. So I need to find a way to get to talk to them, to take them out for coffee, whatever it may be, and approach them and try to get them under my umbrella. Because as you know, we want to expand. We're looking at 3 different areas at the minute. Obviously, Boston's opening up very, very soon. We've also got another 2 places that I can't talk about at the minute. One is fairly close to signing, and the other we're still in the initial backwards and forwards. And so we're expanding. So we know we're going to need somebody. We don't need anybody now, but we're going to need somebody in the next 6 to 12 months. So now is a perfect time to actually strike while we've got the time. And when we find somebody, when you find somebody, you've got to make sure that you approach them for your talent stack. That is the most important thing for me. And the best time to find somebody is when you don't need them. I know that there's a lot of people listening to this now who are single operators, who have 1 site or 2 sites, or like me, 3 sites. And you've got to start taking yourself out the business. That's how you get value in the business, because your business is only going to be worth so much if you're working inside the business. So the idea is, if you've got 1 or 2 sites, you've got to start taking yourself out of the business. You've got to start extracting yourself out. So what you do is you've got to train up the staff members to be able to do that. And I don't mean take yourself out of the business and never work in the business. I just mean the day-to-day. You should be the strategy. You should be looking from a 30,000 foot view. You shouldn't be doing the day-to-day callbacks, the answering the phones, the sweeping out the units. Yes, we all need to start there, but as your business grows and develops and matures, that is where you shouldn't be, because that is not the most valuable time that you can spend on your business. You're not going to get the most return on investment. So we need to find people, and you should always be on lookout. It doesn't matter if it's in a coffee shop, whatever, McDonald's, whoever. People with good customer care who actually genuinely care about their customers, they're the people I'm looking at. I can teach a lot of the skills with sales, but what I can't teach is the genuineness of putting the customer first and genuinely caring and just being an all-round solid good egg. I can't coach that. You've either got it or you haven't. You either care about the job you do and you want to do it to your best of your ability, or you do it to 60%, 50%, and you just get by. They're the people I don't want. I don't want to attract them people. I want to attract the people who are proud people, and proud about their job, and proud about their achievements and what they do on a day-to-day basis. And when we find somebody, we've got to try to make sure we attract them. And I promise you, if you attract the right people, your work, your life, your business will all improve, because you find people that you can trust. And straight away now, I've got 3 people behind me who I can trust, every single one of them. I know without a shadow of a doubt that Yes, obviously they want to put themselves first, but they will put the company as high, if not higher than themselves right now. And I love it. So the message is this weekend, think about talent stacking. How can you find other people? And just be on the lookout, be open to people that serve you in a supermarket, wherever it may be. It doesn't matter, because the fundamentals, the core principles that we need are people who care, good, honest people. And you find them all over the place. And I tell you, when you won't find them, or when it'd be hardest to find them, is when you actually need somebody. Okay, I feel like I banged this drum enough, guys. I will speak to you on Monday morning. I love you. I appreciate you. Have an awesome weekend.